Greetings and salutations, YouTube, the World Wide Web. As you guys can see, it's your host with the most, Paul Cantu, Custom Cantu, back at you guys with a brand new sneaker customization video. Now, it has been an extremely long time since I did a customization. It's been a lack of inspiration. It's been a combination of not having as much time. But once I saw these shoes that typically retail for $60, that your grandfather, that your father, that your uncle might wear, when I found these $60 shoes for $10 in the thrift, I was struck with divine inspiration. So as you guys can see in hand, we have the Air Monarch, the best of the best, a classic dad shoe. And considering I am about to be a Faja, it makes sense that I need to upgrade these to something a little bit more wearable. So if you guys don't recall me finding these shoes in the thrift, I'm gonna play the clip right now so you guys can witness in full HD when I found these beautiful $60 dad pieces of foot swag in the thrift. Should I grab the Air Monarchs? I'm definitely thinking about it. These are pretty damn clean. $10, they are still tweaking on the price, but I mean, these are cozy. They're the best of the best, and I might turn them. Actually, you know what? Scratch might. I'm gonna turn these into some Air Jordan 1s, the Chicago 1 color scheme, bruh. So yeah, that's when I found these dudes alive in the trenches. And what I love about Monarchs is they do have nice blocking on their silhouette that does align with the Air Jordans, with SBs, with Dunks, whatever you guys can imagine. And so I'm going to turn these classic pure white dad shoes into some Air Jordan Chicago 1s to really upgrade my personal dad swag and it's something a little bit more stylistic. So without further ado, we're gonna start transforming these bland ghost daddies into some Miguel Jordan swag. All right, let's get it. Nursing home vibes for days, daddy. No Velcro, but we got the plaque removal. We got the Dawn Ultra 50% less scrubbing, and it's time to mix it with water. Stir it up and get to brushing the teeth of these Monarchs' midsole, baby. So I use nice circular motions, a ton of wrist technique, some dexterity, and then I whipped out the paper towel, man. Multi-use, hella absorbent, and I wiped off all that dirty residue. Then I got the nail polish remover, some cotton rounds, but it's always safety first and then teamwork, man. I gloved up and removed these nasty, dusty and crusty, slightly musty shoelaces from the Iglets, and then it was on, daddy. I got some nice nail polish remover on the cotton rounds, and I started wiping down the entire outskirts of this shoe, removing dirt and debris and also the protective layer of paint that is atop the sneakers. There's a nice clear coat that they use to keep the paint as crispy as possible, but we want to remove that. That way the new paint we add can meld onto the surface and last for eons to come. So once I was done with the nail polish remover, I just wiped it down with some water just to ensure there was none of that anti-paint residue of the nail polish remover left on the sneaker silhouette. And then it was time to get to customizing. So I used red Angelus acrylic paint, link in description, some brushes, and then it was time to hit the slow stroke on this guy. Now, if you're gonna freehand it, make sure you enable your steady hand perk and get to work, okay? So if you guys don't have a steady hand, tape up the shoe. But at this time, I was adding the first of 3 coats of paint atop all the areas that would translate to a Jordan 1 look in the form of this Monarch silhouette. So I hit the toe cap with a nice undercoat of red, and yeah, it looks a little splotchy, it looks a little sloppy, but I'm telling y'all, as you add more and more coats, it definitely will clear up and look even. If you ever painted a wall, it's the exact same thing, man. The more coats you add, the more even the paint looks, the deeper, the darker, and the more beautimous, all right? Now look at this. I'm getting all the edges, getting all the cracks, all the canyons, and all the little spots in betwixt. So I'm hitting up the back panel right now just to fully enable that Jordan 1 look to be unlocked, and that is the key. Now I also added a nice little tramp stamp red hit on the back just to add a little attention to the shoe derriere. And what we did on the outside, y'all know we always have to do on the inside. So I mimicked the outskirts and the tongue with a little bit of that red paint just to complete the vibe. But look how bedraggled one coat of paint looks. And this is why you don't just add one coat, you have to hit them with number 2, my lord. So the second coat of paint definitely is starting to thicken up the entire look of the shoe. It's turning this into a slightly pale lobster into a deep, dark red lobster. I know y'all like them biscuits, bruh. But in all seriousness, the second coat helped, but the third coat really made this paint look even. It really added to the nice Chicago deep dark varsity red color scheme. And I actually added a fourth coat just to ensure absolute perfection was achieved with the red. Perfect. But now it's time to move on to the next color, which is flat black. And that's going on a check in all the little details. I'm telling y'all, we are turning this into an Air Jordan Chicago 1, which comes complete with a black burnt Oreo check. All right, so I'm still using a big brush, but I'm being extra careful to get all the edges and to fill in all the gray of the previous Monarch colorway. So this is where you have to be extremely careful, because one stray hand movement and the white region of this shoe is turning Dalmatian, okay? So I was making sure that I was taking deep breaths, okay? Filling the lungs with oxygen, concentrating, and whipping out my inner Van Gogh on these horse with the paint job. So right now I'm hitting all the little details, such as this plastic little lace holder eaglet region with a small precision paintbrush. And then what I do on the outside, we do on the inside, man. I have to reiterate, but it's important to know these things. And now is one of the final details, which was painting the interior sock lining. So I watered down some of that flat black just to make sure it would absorb into more of the mesh regions of the shoe. And it definitely still preserves the quality and texture of the mesh that was on the back. Now the sock lining was another one of those aspects and areas that I had to let dry for multiple hours just to ensure I didn't slide a white sock in there and pull it out looking like someone's disgusting grandmother's basement. All right, now I also used watered down paint on the tongue, which you don't want to do, and you guys will see why. Okay, I had to use some white paint to cover up my heinous error of having some of that liquidy paint soak through the tongue. But there's nothing that you can't fix in the customization world. So I hit the whole upper of the tongue with white paint, and it also helped refresh the tongue altogether from the poor man who did lose his life in the nursing home prior to having these shoes donated. You dig? But y'all can see, man, a little white paint does a lot, but the black paint on the details really makes the shoe pop. Straight up, I hit the air on the back with the beautimous black paint, and this required a lot of concentration and precaution. But here is the paint job completely done, but it looks glossy, it looks a little too saucy. So I whipped out the Krylon matte finisher to lock in the paint job, make it waterproof, make it weatherproof, and make it look legit, okay? Then I started lacing up the shoe with these nice Walmart $3.48 flat laces. Of course, in the Jordan 1 color scheme, Chicago edition. And once those were in, we were done, my friends. And y'all can see a world of a difference of how far these shoes came. The details are popping. They're perfect. Perfect. But man, enough of looking at these shoes on a table. It's time to throw these on feet and give y'all that complete view. Look at that ankle skin of the Air Monarch Chicago. All right, guys, so there it is. We are completely done with the Air Monarch transformation. Honestly, this tutorial wasn't too bad. It did take me a pretty much full day to do, but I think the result came out super clean, very pristine. Here's another little 360 of the shoe. But yes, turning a $10 boring plain Jane dad shoe into something a little special, a little saucy, just for my own personal collection, definitely was worthwhile. But overall, with the way it came out at the end of the day, yeah, It came out looking profesh, and I love rocking customs that don't look overly custom, if that makes any sense. Now, if you guys want to see some fits of me rocking these, definitely be sure to follow me on Instagram at Mr. Paul Cantu. Like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you guys are not already, and maybe stay tuned. We might do a couple more customs here and there, we shall see. But I felt the inspiration, and I really wanted this colorway in the form of a comfy, cozy dad shoe, and hence why I did it. But yeah, it's a little bit too hot to do a whole little outfit portion with these shoes on. But I mean, guys, this is a Chicago colorway, so it can match with just about anything, okay? So just close your eyes, imagine, and wait until I post on Instagram. Until next time, live the dream, eat that ice cream. I'm locked, I'm loaded, and I'm out. Thrift more, save money, create something special. Peace.
Killing these songs, leaving a bloody life I roost to. And I'm in it to win it, so I'm somebody that you should get used to.